right, then. You've sent over quite a thought-provoking piece this time. The Cyber Mirage. Quite a title. Why organizations think they're secure, but aren't. By Sandeep Jaryal. And of course, we've done our homework, haven't we? Got a bit of background on Mr. Jaryal himself.
Indeed, and it seems there's a bit of a paradox at play here. So many security breaches you see can be traced back to good old-fashioned human error. But the focus so often remains on those shiny technological solutions. So in this deep dive, we'll try to unravel this cyber mirage, as he calls it, and see if we can extract some practical wisdom from this book for you.
Spot on. So, dear listener, our mission today is to help you grasp the core arguments of this book, perhaps see how it connects with your own understanding of the cybersecurity landscape, and maybe, just maybe, spark a few aha moments along the way. We've got insights into Jaryal's rather impressive experience, the rather unique approach he takes in the book, and even a glimpse into the future, with a bit of AI sprinkled in, courtesy of a certain Suraj Singh. Right then, let's crack on, shall we? Now, first things first, this Sandeep Jaryal, he's not exactly a newcomer to the world of cybersecurity, is he?
Not in the slightest. Founder and virtual CISO at CyberX. Nearly 2 decades steeped in the world of cybersecurity. He's seen a thing or two, wouldn't you say?
20 years, eh? Blimey. And that's enough time to witness the tech landscape change dramatically, a time or two over. And it sounds like he hasn't just been pigeonholed into one particular niche either. From what we've gathered, he's got experience across the board technical roles, advising those at the top, the C-suite. A well-rounded perspective, I'd wager.
Precisely. That breadth of experience is crucial. He's not just an armchair theorist. He's been in the thick of it, tackling those real-world security conundrums, guiding those at the helm. And that hands-on experience, I suspect, is what informs the practical nature of his book.
And the range of sectors he's worked with. Quite a list, isn't it? Healthcare, financial services, utilities, manufacturing, even dabbled in the UK government. You'd imagine the security concerns would be worlds apart between, say, a hospital and, well, a government department.
Absolutely. Each sector has its own unique set of vulnerabilities and regulatory hurdles to navigate, of course. But what's intriguing is that Jaryal, through his work, apparently found common threads, fundamental weaknesses that leave organizations exposed regardless of their specific industry. Worth bearing in mind as we delve deeper, wouldn't you say?
You're absolutely right. Now, on top of all that practical experience, the man's got a string of qualifications longer than, well, longer than a rather long thing. CISS, Microsoft Certified Cybersecurity Architect Expert, ISME Cyber Essentials Assessor. It takes a deep breath to say all that, doesn't it? Certainly suggests a deep understanding of the subject matter.
Oh, undoubtedly. Those certifications are a testament to his expertise and commitment to professional standards. But, and this is where it gets interesting, your notes highlight that the book doesn't just drown you in technical jargon. It emphasizes Jaryal's ability to translate complex security concepts into something, well, something that business leaders can actually understand and use.
Now that's crucial, isn't it? Because cybersecurity isn't just a backroom IT issue. It's a fundamental business risk with potentially serious consequences. Now, talking about making things understandable, the book itself takes a rather unique approach, doesn't it? Conversations between Marcus and Sarah. Now, what's that all about?
That's the clever part. Instead of a dry, technical lecture, Jaryal uses dialogue. A seasoned virtual CISO, Marcus and Sarah, a consultant who's perhaps a bit earlier in her career. It's all designed to make potentially complex topics more approachable, wouldn't you say? A bit more engaging for the reader.
So, it's like learning by eavesdropping on a conversation between two industry insiders. Makes you feel like you're right there in the room with them, doesn't it? Could be a rather effective way to make some of these technical concepts a bit more digestible for those who, well, might not be cybersecurity whizzes.
Exactly. You're following these characters as they wrestle with real-world security challenges, explore various options, and ultimately arrive at solutions. Much more relatable and, I dare say, memorable than simply being bombarded with facts and figures.
And it mentions that these case studies are drawn from actual experiences, doesn't it? Not just hypothetical scenarios, but based on real events, albeit anonymized for confidentiality. Adds a certain weight to the whole thing, knowing it's grounded in reality.
Absolutely. It grounds the insights and recommendations in a way that pure theory simply can't match. Jaryal isn't just pontificating. He's drawing from years of practical experience, of solving real problems in the field.
Right, so we've got an author with serious credentials, a book that uses a rather innovative conversational style, and it's all anchored in real-world scenarios. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter, shall we? This cyber mirage. What is it exactly, and why is it such a blooming menace?
The core problem, as Guriel sees it, is this pervasive belief that organizations have things buttoned up security-wise, when in reality there are significant vulnerabilities lurking beneath the surface. This cyber mirage, this illusion of security, can be incredibly dangerous.
So companies might have all the latest firewalls and anti-malware gizmos. They might be ticking all the compliance boxes, but there are still weaknesses, gaping holes in their defenses.
That's the crux of it. Jeriel's experience working with clients across various sectors has shown him that these vulnerabilities often persist, regardless of how much money is thrown at technology or how rigorously they adhere to industry standards. It's almost like they get so focused on the technological bells and whistles that they overlook the less obvious but equally critical underlying weaknesses. And often, ironically, an over-reliance on complex security systems actually creates blind spots. They neglect basic security hygiene, which becomes the easiest way in for attackers. You spend a fortune on fancy endpoint detection, right? But then the breach happens because someone clicked on a phishing email. Basic human error.
A bit like slapping a fresh coat of paint on a dilapidated building. Might look all right from the outside, but the structural problems are still there, just waiting to cause a collapse. And this mirage, this false sense of security, is a direct result of his work with those clients across so many different industries, right?
Precisely. He's seen how this illusion can lead to complacency, a dangerous underestimation of the risks. The book, at its core, aims to shatter this illusion, to help readers see their own security posture with a more critical, more realistic eye.
But it's not just about doom and gloom, is it? From what I gather, Jaryal doesn't just point out the problems, he offers solutions as well. Frameworks, practical roadmaps, a way out of this mirage. That's got to be a bit more helpful than just a book full of scary scenarios, eh?
Absolutely. He provides frameworks and actionable roadmaps designed to address those underlying vulnerabilities, to build a more robust, genuine resilience, not just abstract ideas. They're designed to be memorable, practical, things you can actually implement in your organization.
Now let's talk about a different perspective. Suraj Singh and his chapter on artificial intelligence. This feels like we're taking a bit of a leap into the future of cybersecurity.
Indeed. Suraj Singh brings over 20 years of experience to the table, leadership roles within Microsoft's security ecosystem. That gives him a rather unique viewpoint, wouldn't you say, on the methods used by attackers and how technology can be used to defend against them.
Microsoft Defender, the Threat Intelligence Center, he's been dealing with real threats at scale.
Precisely. His background brings a wealth of practical knowledge to the table. And this is where it gets really interesting. He's currently pursuing doctoral research in generative AI and machine learning within cybersecurity, not just observing the changes, actively researching their impact.
Now his chapter, this Agentic AI, sounds a bit like something out of science fiction, doesn't it? What's that all about?
Imagine AI systems, autonomous systems, capable of not just identifying threats, but independently analyzing and responding to them in real time, with minimal human intervention. That's agentic AI. Automating a lot of those manual tasks that security teams currently grapple with, almost like having a tireless, ever-vigilant security analyst working round the clock.
Now this is where things start to click together, isn't it? You've got Jaryal with his pragmatic, experience-based frameworks, and then Singh looking towards the horizon with this cutting-edge AI technology. Seems like a rather potent combination.
Precisely. Singh's insights into agentic AI offer a glimpse into the future of security operations, and it highlights how Jaryal's frameworks might be, well, augmented, enhanced by these advanced AI capabilities, bridging the gap between today's challenges and tomorrow's possibilities.
Now, to bring things back down to earth for a moment, there's a case study mentioned in the notes from the healthcare sector, an organization that, on the surface, seemed to have all its ducks in a row, security-wise, but they still suffered a significant breach. A classic example of the cyber mirage at play.
Indeed. The specifics of the breach are understandably confidential, but it underscores a crucial point. Even organizations with the latest and greatest security tools can still be compromised. The root cause, we're told, was rather unexpected, something that traditional vulnerability assessments might have missed entirely. A tiny misconfiguration, perhaps, or a weakness in their supply chain, something that no one had considered critical.
Really challenges that notion that just throwing more technology at the problem is the answer, doesn't it? Suggests there are other factors at play, those human elements we discussed earlier, perhaps.
Absolutely. It highlights the complexity of cybersecurity, the need for a more holistic approach, one that goes beyond just deploying the latest shiny tech. Makes you think, doesn't it, about what true security really means.
All right, so who is this book actually for? Who would benefit most from reading The Cyber Mirage?
The book seems to offer something for a wide range of people. CISOs, security leaders, they'll find those strategic frameworks valuable for improving their organization's overall security posture. IT directors, well, they can benefit from the practical risk management methodologies. And security consultants, I reckon they'll find it an invaluable resource, a playbook of tested approaches and strategies.
And it's not just for the techies, is it? Seems like it could be equally useful for those in leadership roles who might not be deeply technical, but still need to understand the business implications of cybersecurity. It's a boardroom issue now, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. The book makes a point of translating those technical risks into clear business impacts. Helps board members, executives understand how robust security can be a strategic advantage, not just a cost center. That's critical for fostering a security-first culture top to bottom.
Even security awareness professionals could find some nuggets in there, I reckon. Building that security-first culture, the psychology behind it. That's an angle that often gets overlooked, wouldn't you say?
That's what's so insightful about the book, that emphasis on the human element. It suggests ways to improve security awareness training, to really build a more security-conscious workforce. That human factor, the weakest link in the chain, as they say.
It all seems to come back to that idea of practicality. Implementable strategies, not just theory, but things you can actually do based on real-world experience. That's got to be a big selling point.
Absolutely. In a field that's often full of abstract concepts and jargon, a book that provides concrete, actionable advice rooted in the real world is invaluable.
And, there's even a testimonial from a CISO who, after reading the book, identified 3 critical blind spots in their own security. Quite an endorsement, that, especially from someone whose job it is to be on top of security. And this was after they'd done their annual penetration tests.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? The fact that a seasoned CISO found it insightful enough to uncover vulnerabilities that their regular security assessments had missed really highlights the practical value.
So if you're listening and thinking, right, I need to get my hands on this book, how can you do that? And I believe there's a rather tempting special offer for our listeners.
The Cyber Mirage is available now, both in physical and digital formats. Amazon, Kindle, all the usual places. And yes, there is a special promotion for the first 100 readers.
An exclusive chapter and a discount. Is that right? Sounds like a good deal for those who are quick off the mark.
Indeed. The first 100 purchasers get a bonus chapter, Harnessing AI to Elevate Cybersecurity Consulting, and a discount on the book itself. Limited time offer, though, so act fast if you're interested.
Don't dilly-dally, as my grandmother used to say. Now, for those who do pick up the book, how can they connect with Mr. Jaryal himself if they've got questions or insights to share?
Jaryal is quite active on LinkedIn, and he has a website where you can delve a bit deeper into his work, his thoughts on cybersecurity. Great resources if you want to continue the conversation, so to speak.
Brilliant. We'll make sure to include all those links to purchase the book and to Sandeep Jaryal's online profiles in the show notes. And if any of you do read the Cyber Mirage, do let us know what you think. Always keen to hear your perspectives, how it resonates with your own experiences.
Right. To sum it all up for you, our exploration of the Cyber Mirage suggests that true security isn't just about the latest gadgets and software. It's about understanding the human element, looking beyond that comforting but often illusory safety net of purely technical defenses.
Well said. This deep dive into Jaryal's work, with that glimpse into the future of AI from Singh, gives you plenty to ponder, doesn't it? It's not just about identifying problems. It's about offering a more holistic, a more realistic path to better security.
Indeed. It raises a crucial question for you. How much of your security approach focuses on that mirage, those purely technical solutions? And how much attention are you paying to those often overlooked human factors? Perhaps the Cyber Mirage offers a fresh perspective, one worth exploring further.